It's a great place to be on a Friday night, Sydney. Even better when it's a Friday night game, and it's a big Friday night game. It's the Swans up against the Bombers on Carlton Draft Friday night footy, and it's going to be a huge night. I'm with Wayne Carey and Tim Watson. I'll talk to the boys in just a moment. Before that, though, Joe Watson, the captain of Essendon, spoke to his father, Tim, on 7 News about the fact that Buddy Franklin wasn't playing for the Swans tonight.
Well, pretty kindly, he's got a pretty good record against the boys. Hooksy's happy he doesn't have to chase him anymore. And look, it's going to be a very tight game. We know how well Sydney Swans are playing, and it's a great challenge for us.
That next question would have been a beauty. What do you think about Buddy not playing?
Well, I think obviously Essendon are relieved that he's not playing, but I guess that will be tempered with the excitement of, well, not the excitement, but the fact that they've still got to get on and beat Sydney tonight. And really, I think that the midfield of Sydney is the thing that they've got to overcome tonight.
Are you aware of his record against the Bombers, Tim?
I am well aware of his record against the Bombers, acutely aware of his record against the Bombers.
Look at the tweet. No Buddy tonight. You beauty for the Bombers, eh? No, he has got this incredible, 6.5 goals he averages against Essendon, and it's about, 3 goals less against the rest of the comp.
Yeah, look, he's an unbelievable player in great form. But what it does is it gives a couple of other forwards now a real opportunity. Reid was quiet last week. A young player in for his first game in Membry gets an opportunity, and obviously Goods is up there as well. So they've got plenty of talent to cover Buddy.
But the hottest forward in the comp right now is Jake Carlisle. Now, the last time these two teams played, he was the sub. Then you got hold of him, Wayne, and now he's become a superstar forward.
Oh, look, he's exciting to watch. His last 2 weeks have been unbelievable. They've got the ball. What they've done differently, Tim, obviously, they've got the ball into him quickly. You can see here they're all one-on-one contests, and he's got a good leap. He's got a great set of hands, and he's got really good courage too.
He has. It's going to be a different circumstance tonight, though, against the Bulldogs, against Collingwood. He did get those one-on-ones. It's rare for a key position player to get a one-on-one against his Sydney team defence zone.
Yeah, well, he's like I said, he's in great form, but he'll have to work hard tonight. And it might actually be a night where he has to just compete. He mightn't kick a lot of goals tonight, but if he competes hard, that'll go a long way to the Bombers winning the game.
And what about Bill Chambers in? I mean, does that make any difference to Carlisle forward?
Well, I guess it shares the responsibility. Last week, the last time they played, they really only had the one player to go to. So I guess the thinking behind that is to keep this Sydney Swans defence a little bit more honest.
And just down at the other end, I mean, you talked about this in the countdown, Wayne. No Franklin there. I mean, what difference does that make to Tippett and to Goods and to Reid and the new boy Membry?
I think more so for Membry and also Reid. I think they go into the game now. I guess not. I think at times they're a bit hesitant. They're getting in the way of their big forward. I think now they can really attack it and lead like they should.
Let's go over and join Jude and Tom. Over to you, Tom.
Yeah, thanks very much, Bruce. Really excited to be down here at ground level in a huge game, and one of the absolute superstars for the Sydney Swans. You know him so well, Jude, is obviously Josh Kennedy. His numbers in contested possessions and clearances in particular have been outstanding, haven't they?
I think I've never seen a player who can absorb so much pressure around that contest, and certainly I reckon Heath Cocking will get the job on him tonight. But in terms of trying to come and beat him, you need to be able to close the outlets on the outside. Those guys on the outside perimeter have to stay on their man, allow Heath Cocking to try and lay the tackle, but because Josh Kennedy just walks that tackler, and if you come in, he'll handball it over. I'd be also throwing a half forward, maybe an Ambrose in at times, to just create a bit more confusion and throw a bigger body in front of him as well.
Well, the numbers are quite extraordinary when you look at the top 5 clearance getters since 2010. It's not just the fact he's number 1, it's the stretch by, I guess, 778 to 679 over Priddis just speaks volumes, and therefore 5 outstanding players there as well, Jude.
They're the best insiders in the game, and you can see that clear victory at the moment.
And the contested possession, I mean, the number of times he's had more than 20 has been amazing. So as far as playing on him, Jude, do you think put numbers around the contest and then sacrifice the +1 at the other end?
Absolutely. You need Heath Cocking either striking in or standing off him and then coming in at the right time, and just make sure you keep on those outlets on the outside, because he will walk that tackler and give it off every time.
Well, Den, Bomber Thompson's a one-on-one coach. He doesn't particularly like loose players in the back half, so we'll see how that pans out this afternoon.
Well, it's an amazing story as far as they're concerned. Franklin out tonight, so it changes a lot of things, doesn't it?
Well, it does, although he tends to be just players of running half forward. But as Wayne has said, the ball goes to him when it comes into that part of the ground. And Laidlaw out and Reece Shaw in is a small, really a medium defender out for a small defender in. I got to say, Dennis, I look at that side and I see Ted Richards. I know he's named that fullback, but he tends to play halfback. I reckon he's the most irreplaceable player in their whole lineup.
For those people wondering, Buddy's got his sore knee, probably from kicking goals against Essendon, I would think. But he's out tonight, and that is news that struck only about half an hour ago. So
yeah,
it was in the wind. A few people knew it was coming up. The Bombers, well, their football has been pretty good. They've won 3 straight, although in their last game they had to struggle to beat the Bulldogs.
Yes, that's true. They had a good win against Collingwood the week before that, but they've been going pretty well. Belch, obviously, Joe Danaher is out injured, so the fact that Belch goes the second tour, and Carlisle, of course, is just in incredible form. I mean, what he's done, as you outlined earlier, Dennis, 31 marks and 12 goals in his last 2 games, so he's in outstanding form.
And the other side of that coin is Hurley's been okay at centre half back. He's just finding his way, isn't he?
I think he's settled. He's become a fairly defensive, like he doesn't attack as much, but he actually has been a good defender, so he adds a good balance back there.
Talking about Ted Richards, he gets Carlisle.
Well, I would have thought so. That's why I think he's the most irreplaceable player, indispensable player in the Swans team, because he plays on the opposition's main big forward. And Carlisle's probably that tonight, one would think, but he's a good intercept mark. He's actually been a good defender. So, again, if he's not available, he plays every week. He's only missed a game for about 4 years. So he's been a terrific player. Started with Essendon, of course, way back. But a really, really good top-notch defender, Ted Richards.
Do you see him as the All-Australian fullback or Rance?
Well, Rance has had a really good last bit of the year. Without notice, he's got to be in contention, no doubt about that, Dennis.
The Bombers will see September action. And as I say, their form in recent times has been good. That guy, well, it gets better and better.
Well,
I've said that about a few players tonight, but Heppel is really the man. When you think better and better, he's the sort of poster boy.
Well, he's been great for the first year he played, but with the absence of Jade Watson, he seems to have picked up the cudgels as the main midfielder, really. I mean, he's a good ball winner. He's a good user of the footy, so, in fact, he's just an outstanding player, Heppel, and continues to improve. He's only, his 4th year this year, I think, so he's only very early in his career.
Dustin Fletcher on the left there, bouncing the footy. Does he go on? He's going to be tantalisingly close to 400. As a coach, is there a place for heart? Can you have a heart?
No, I don't know about the heart part of it. I don't think you just play him for the sake of it, but he's getting on the fringe a little bit now. Sometimes they think he's in our best team, depending upon what the matchups are. He's probably going to be on, say, a Sam Reid matchup tonight. So if you've got a third tall forward for the opposition, he's ideal.
Well, I worked it out. If they make the finals and then get to the grand final, it will be his 400th game. I'm not very good at stats.
It's a draw to be 400. Yeah, no, but it's an enormous amount of footy. 22 years of footy. Outstanding.
Just terrific. Chapman, of course, he's been a handy pickup. They've gone after free agents, 2 of them there on the left, Goddard and Chapman. They've been in interesting form as we go down to Tim Watson, who's with their coach.
First of all, your reaction when you found out that Buddy Franklin wasn't playing tonight? Disappointed?
No, I wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't that happy. It was just the way it is. One player doesn't make a difference, and nor should they. Yeah.
How do you address that with the players?
Same thing. I think Sydney is still filled up with a very good team, so by having one player out, doesn't matter who it was, it doesn't make the world a difference. Yeah.
They're a great side. Did you learn anything from the way Hawthorn played them last Saturday night?
Yeah, I think you do. I think but we can't play like Hawthorn play, otherwise we'd be Hawthorn. So, we're just going to try and beat them our style, but certainly take a little bit of what they did into our game tonight.
And the mids, they represent a great challenge tonight too, don't they? Their midfield.
Yeah, they're strong and they're consistent and they're reliable. So, we've got a big job, but we've got we're a good team and we want to be one of the top teams in the competition. So it's a great challenge tonight. We're going to take them on.
And Bell Chambers into the side to give Carlisle a bit of a chop out.
Yeah, he is, and give Paddy a spell forward too. Maybe have Carlisle and Ryder there. So. It's a bit of a bold move, but we've done it and hope it works.
Bit of rain on the way too.
That's just great, mate. Good. It's okay for me. I'm in the box. How about you?
No, I'm going to get wet.
Yeah,
good luck.
Okay,
I would think, Lee, as soon as that interview's over, those 2 guys high-five each other. It doesn't matter about Buddy. No, it doesn't matter, but I think it does.
Oh, I think you'd be pretty happy for anything to do with Essendon. Buddy's not playing. You'd be happy about that.
Out come the Sydney Swans, still on top of the table, but it's very close. Less than 1% now separates them from the Hawks. They're coming off their first loss in 13 games. No Franklin tonight, as we said. His record against Essendon outstanding, but they've still got some tall timber up forward. Let's go down to Jude with John Longmire.
John, Buddy Franklin out. It's a massive out, and Tim Memory gets his opportunity.
Yeah, unfortunately, Buddy's knee was a little bit sore, the tendonitis after training, and it was still sore again today. We expected him to be right, but it wasn't the case. But Timmy Membry gets his first game, which is fantastic and really exciting for him.
And last week, just in the third quarter, the Swans were up by 23 points, and Hawthorn just took the momentum away and had some really important clearances.
Yeah, they're right. They got on top of us in that mid part of the ground. It's really important. Our mids have generally been pretty good for most of the year, and we dropped away for about 15-20 minutes there. We need to make sure we're a bit more consistent tonight.
The last time you met the Bombers, Jay Carlisle was sub at that stage. It's a different proposition coming up against him this time.
Oh, he certainly is. I mean, his form's been outstanding the last 2 weeks. He's had a lot of contested marks, and if the ball gets down there with any type of service, he's going to be hard to beat. So we need to make sure that pressure in that midfield's really up there.
Thanks for your time.
Well, they've got some size on the forward line. What about that guy?
Well, it's interesting. I don't see Tippett and Reid playing in the same forward line, you know, ongoing. They're both really similar players. Big forward, potentially can back up a second ruckman, and Tippett seems to be the main man, so Reid's the second banana, plays second ruck, but I'm not so sure whether that duo is going to last long-term for the Swans, Dennis. I think it's two of the one kind, and a lot of your sources tied up in those two players.
Good. Tippett 2 goals last week. Better for the run, no doubt. It's Carlton Draft Friday Night Football. We're at the SCG. Looking forward to this one. It's Sydney and Essendon.
Well, no, don't turn your telly off. It's the AFL, but it's Gary Jack, the father of Kieran, playing for Australia in a try-saving tackle. And the great news is that Kieran Jack will also be playing for Australia in the international rules match at Patterson Stadium on November the 22nd, Australia v Ireland. So Kieran Jack joins the growing group, and they are some stellar names that will be playing for Australia in November in Perth. So that's great news, and he'll be a big part of tonight. He's our NAB Fantasy Footy player to watch, powered by Telstra tonight.
Now, what about the commentator selections? Obviously, Buddy Franklin out, so these selections made after that. They had that knowledge. Just let's see who our guys have gone for. All staying with Sydney. The outrider is Tommy, 23 points, and Tim, as you'd expect, expecting a big performance tonight from the Bombers. Almost high-fiving Bomber Thompson as they were interviewing. They're like a hybrid.
It's interesting about the game is when the blockbuster game last week, Hawthorn and the Swans coming off that. I'd be surprised if the Swans and Hawthorn don't have low energy games this week, even though they might win.
So the toss of the coin on what is a bitterly cold night down there on the ground, I'm told. I've been up here all the time, but everyone came back shivering.
You're well informed, Dan.
Brennan, this is Taffrey.
Taffrey, how are you?
Your call, Brennan. Standard. Tails is a call. It's a head. Okay, cheers.
As I mentioned earlier, the Swans lost their first game after putting 12 together, 12 victories. And it took a wonderful game to end their run, Tom.
It certainly did. The Hawks were fantastic. And just to pick up on Lee's point, I think if the fact that they were coming off 12 wins and it was a prick to their pride might mitigate the lull in the energy. I mean, they are coming off 6 days, which is something to prepare for, but I would expect the Swans to bounce back pretty hard.
Have a refocusing effect. But I do think that whenever you got the top of the ladder clash late in the year, it's amazing. You played in one a few years ago. Remember Geelong v St Kilda. It was 0-9, and I think both sides had ordinary games the following week.
Certainly did, yes.
Just looking back to that game last week, one thing that impressed me was the form of Adam Goodes, particularly in the third term.
Yeah, his second half was outstanding, I think, by his own admission. A little quiet in the first half, but it just shows how much class he still has. And with Franklin being out, it'll be interesting to see what role he plays in the front half of the Swans tonight.
Well, he's such a great player, but all of a sudden now he's getting the third or fourth best defender. So you'd expect him to be able to kick goals. Reid's in the same boat. I mean, you really expect big efforts from them because they're both got talent.
Can they play Reid differently tonight? With Buddy not being there, doesn't wouldn't affect Reed's and Tippett's positioning, I wouldn't have thought.
No, you just want Reed to be more confident. You want him to be a little bit more brash and actually make himself available, lead to the spaces that he should be leading to, and not worry about the influence of Buddy Franklin.
You'd expect him to play high, wouldn't you, if you play Tippett deep, and Membry's a marking target as well, but he'll put some forward pressure on Sam Reed to play up, take some balls through the middle of the ground.
Time your lead, boys.
Subs, Lloyd,
Time your lead.
and Delolio.
Straight back. Here we go.
Umpires tonight, Chamberlain, Finlay and Pennell. Friday night football at the SCG. This should be one to savour. Great bounce to start proceedings too. One down by Pike, stolen by Myers, so adept at that. Upended. In the middle there was Heppel. Hurley kicks down towards half forward. Rampy's over the football. Immediately attracts a crowd of Bombers. Stanton at the base of all of that. Kennedy's got it. They've got him. Ball up. So down towards half forward. First ball up of the evening. Could see a few of them.
Well, I reckon we'll get a good game here, whatever happens. Just interesting. Fletch is on Membry to start. I mean, 394 games between them, eh?
And the other one's Zach Merritt's on Adam Good. So we've got a couple of young kids playing on the absolute doyens of the competition.
So Reshaw down low, back from that ankle. Good hands from Pike to Malcheski. Now Malcheski off the side, but it was okay. And Smith's careful kick down the line. So here's our first look at Membry. Gee, you'll be pleased with that. And they were clean hands, weren't they? He attacked it well and gave it off. And Bagley just had to fish a bit. Winderlick. We had to fish with Winderlick before the match. Now Goddard. Now he doesn't get that, but it bounces off Tippett, and Hooker might be the recipient. And that's an impressive handball from Hooker.
Dempsey's away then. Runs through midfield. Bounces in front of Carlisle. Mate, Carlisle goes in short, and the mark is held by Malcheski, intended for Bell Chambers. Malcheski wide. Jetta just inside the boundary line. Now the youngster is on again. Membry takes the mark just forward of the wing. Looks very athletic. Just watching him run down the ground without the football. Drives this one down towards left half forward. Well-weighted kick too. Jack gets in behind Stanton. Told to go. He does. Stanton not paying attention. Ball goes down towards the pocket off hands. Taken by Parker. And Parker slams it into the post.
It's a frenetic start to the game, isn't it? Bouncing round and the good players getting their hands on the ball early. Membry's looked really likely.
Really good start by Membry, because we spoke to John Longmire off camera and he said that he was a mark kick player and they had to turn him into a player that was much better below his knees, and that first pickup was terrific.
He turned his back when he took the mark, but the kick was still good enough to get to Jack.
Powerful kick.
So here is Fletcher. 393 games. It's remarkable, isn't it? High and outside the danger zone for the moment. Ambrose. Jack, well done. To Shaw, to McVeigh. McVeigh, steady kick. Jetta just dropped down. Oh, clever Jetta. McVeigh within range. He's got it. That was sweet.
It's a fantastic finish, isn't it? Outside of the boot, great start for the Swans.
Better 3 goals against them back in round 9 as well, so he's a dangerous man. Not Buddy, but he doesn't mind kicking goals against Essendon.
High contact.
Heppel getting a free kick. You can hear the umpires.
Jared, sorry.
So McVeigh kicked that last goal. A smile on his face. Ironic that time. Kick inside the forward 50 intended for Carlisle. Couldn't hang on. Cunningham lays a tackle on Collier. Ball up.
No.
Essendon started Bell Chambers more across half forward and Carlisle deep at this early stage.
Ryder to Chapman. Spills across to Pike. He couldn't control it. Cunningham went to ground. Richards, well, improvising, got boot to ball, close to the boundary line. Did Heppel keep it in? I doubt it. Out of bounds, will have a throw in.
It's funny, with time with Teddy, you don't even think about Teddy Richards against the old team anymore, don't you?
It's a long time ago now. He's like many players who've come to the Swans and just found another gear in their careers.
Well, they've done well out of Hawthorn, the Swans. I know Franklin not tonight, but you think of McLean and Kennedy.
Kennedy, yes.
So, boundary throw in. Essendon inside that forward 50. Bell Chambers over the back to Ryder. So, Ruckman to Ruckman. Just had to wait. Grundy, Malcheski, good hands. Rampy. It was interesting on Gunston last week. What a good job he did. A like for a like, basically. And then Jetta's kick to a contest. Oh, gee, Jack got up so high, and then Fletcher
comes back.
So free kick.
In touch with Footy. Thanks, Kieran. Come around.
Gee, a high-flying Jack, eh?
Spring heel Jack. So Bagley's got it. Just the defensive side of the wing. Drives it around that outer side. Pike sets, goes, knocked away from his teammate in the end. That was Richards. Now a chance for Kennedy. Kennedy gives it across towards McVeigh. McVeigh was taken down. Well played by Zaharakis. Good pressure from Essendon.
Jude, it looks like McVeigh running closely with Heppel at this stage.
Yeah, he's really trying to work him over as well. He plays a two-way running game, McVeigh, and some of the other important matchups, hocking on Malcheski.
Goddard had it. He's gone away from him now by a couple of metres. Coming back towards him is Howlett. So stop and start football to start proceedings tonight at the SCG.
Gee, Bombers got a lot behind the ball here, haven't they? They had at least 2 loose men. Hurley, one of them. Rampy. Grundy. Good kick. Cunningham. Now this could be dangerous. It's a beautiful kick. Malcheski goes to tip it. Well done though. Belting it away. Hooker to the pocket. Ball has to be fetched. Fletcher. Bagley ball in.
So there's the benefit of the extra player back there. Bruce, it became quite predictable that the Swans were going to tip it and all 3 converged at the one time.
The extra player or the extra players, it's really then which team does it best, which team's able to use the ball better, and obviously they're basically tagging Malcheski, so he doesn't give them that drive.
Quick kick by Kennedy. Dangerous situation off the ground by Jack. Wide of the mark. So the Swans have started with all guns blazing. They lead by 8 points. Short one comes in. Hurley flirts with the idea of going. Now squares it instead. Stanton in the back pocket. Nothing much happening for the Bombers. They've been closed down in the opening minutes. Winderlich developing nicely as a defender. Goes up the ground. Dangerous kick. Ill-directed. Rowan's got it. Runs inside the 50 from long range. Oh, that's a beautiful finish. Clinical.
A poor kick, and they paid the ultimate for it. But Essendon have loved having Winderlich in that back 6, and generally a really good set-up play. I think the wind is far more trickier than what the players are actually realising at this stage too. And
Tim Clanger kicks 6 for the Bombers and none for Sydney so far. So they have been wasteful, Essendon. It is a swirly night. And we might just be seeing the emergence of Rowan. 9 games this year equals his career high, by the way, 9 games. I mean, he's had such little luck with injury. We saw the big knee, the big leg break here, but he might be just starting to emerge here. And there he is, but he fell over there, which wasn't so good. Howlett, Merritt, who we've loved him so far. Malcheski, that was terrific. That'll get you the All-Australian team at half-back.
He'd be in the half-back line of the All-Australian side at the moment. We know how well he uses the ball, but certainly very brave also.
And the free agent, a lot of interest. Grundy went short. This is Goods. It's a movement from Smith, just as a decoy, and sends it towards the outer side. Missed out there by the youngster. He's played a couple of games now, Towers. He's been quite impressive. Collier against the boundary. Grundy tracks it back towards the boundary line, and it runs away from him and goes out. So that's a good result as far as the Bombers are concerned. They get a stoppage here.
They do like to push their numbers back. Sydney then just try and run it. That's not so much playing it behind the footy, just going in with the ball. And there'll be a couple of Essendon defenders out.
The earlier clash in Melbourne was 7 goals to 1 at quarter time, Sydney's way. So Essendon just need to hold here and respond. Swans fast starters again tonight.
Essendon have been inside their attacking 50 on 7 occasions already without a score, so that's a worrying sign.
So Ryder's little kick forward, Richards, and then hooking back dangerously in a way, but it might come off. It might really work for them. Shaw, well done, just turned his man. Bird to Shaw to Rowan. Geez, an interesting player, Rowan. Again, he made a blue just when I gave him a rap, but he was taking off. It's like a colt who hasn't quite found his way. So Merritt, Chapman, Zaharakis, Carlisle pushed underneath. Reid getting back in the back half. Getting it out wide, McGlynn, Goods and McGlynn. Still with the champ, so Goods with a Neat little kick memory. Gee, I like. What are your first impressions, Doug?
Oh, well, he really clean below his knees the first possession that he got. He got out on his own and took an uncontested mark, and then that one kept his eye on the footy. That's a good contested mark under pressure.
Goes to Goods. Left arm forward. McVeigh again finding space, getting away from Howlett. He's about 55 metres out from goal. I venture to say this is beyond him. Goes back to Goods.
Hold, Aaron.
Just getting right for the finals, you sense. All the way back to Grundy. Now Grundy can run at them. Nobody really comes at him. All in one half, the players on the ground, but that's not a good kick. Bill Chambers, 15 metres out from his defensive goal, uncontested.
Well, Membry and Reid, sorry, Den, have a really strong role to play for the Swans tonight. They need another option 40 to 60 metres out from goal.
Bill Chambers, Reid over the top, almost the mark. Heppel surrounded, put down. McGlynn did nicely, crashed the pack. Now Richards just put off. As he kicked the ball, a lunging dive affected the kick. Watch this fly again.
No, Kurt, back here, please. This side of the post. Where you are, that's it. That's
Hooker to bring it in.
Got a good grip on it, didn't he? Almost held a beauty. So Hooker back to a similar spot. Rowan, well done defensively. Jackson Merritt, Hurley, Zach Merritt, McVeigh just did enough. Heppel, some quality there, isn't there, with Jack, Heppel and McVeigh going for the one ball.
It is a ground that you can get defenders and players behind the footy quicker than other grounds because it's obviously not as long. So I think you'll see that from both sides all night, and it will eventually open up. But right now, both sides are doing it quite well.
Myers read a good tap from Bill Chambers.
Play on, teammate.
Ball not out. Merritt, well done. Parker in low.
Throw. Don't kick it, Essendon. Throw against Parker.
Okay, so
hold, Dyson. Dyson, come here. Got to go off, mate. Blood rule. Blood rule. Dyson, could you please go off with the blood rule? Thank you, mate.
I'm in the mid zone, right?
So
yes, mate. I've heard. Yep.
So Ray Chamberlain there with Dyson Heppel.
I'll wait for this off the field.
And to your point, Wayne, also, because it's such a condensed ground that when you've got the ball in your hand and you look up, they seem more prominent, the defenders as well, and puts you under pressure when you're looking to kick the ball inside your forward 50.
Swans by 14, Heppel off the ground. Dempsey short, Collier. In recent weeks, he's given them speed.
Move it on, play on.
Getting continuity in his games now, too. It's not a good kick. It's been touched off the boot, too. Falls in front of the pack. Smith hand passes to Jack. Jack's kick, not so good. Bagley chopped it off. Run comes from behind and Hurley. Hurley to Stanton. Stanton right centre wing, goes wide of the mark, called to play on. Penetrating kick down towards Carlisle. In front, does it against quality opposition. Grundy, who's strong in the body, out body.
I don't know if Grundy was necessarily set for Carlisle, but he's playing deeper. I think it's just Carlisle. Grundy plays deeper, which is more halfback, but it's going to be a good contest because he's in terrific marking form, Carlisle.
35 goals in his career, 12 in the last 2 games. Right behind him. This one's out to the right. It's not coming back. It's trying to, but too late. First score for the Bombers. 2 goals to Sydney so far, to Rowan and McVeigh.
So a bit of a miss there. He's 18-9 from set shots. Fletcher getting back. Hurley. And then Hurley, nice sidestep, then gets the right angle, and then on the left foot. Ryder, well done. Not quite. Gee, he did well to get across in front of Richards. Rampy. Kennedy and Rampy. It's a real dasher, Rampy, down the line, straight back to Fletcher. We know he can bomb if he wants to. Go short. Looked up, found Howlett. So the Bombers enjoying a little patch here. Just need a goal. And that kick to a real big space. Carlisle brought 3 players with him. Merritt getting down low. Was it Shaw? And the ball. Just
making an attempt
there. So no free hitter. Just a
straight back here.
That was a hold
comment
in the arm,
on.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I'll get to you on Carlisle in a moment.
Myers straight up in the air. In fact, it goes backwards. He comes again. Fox is his own ball, and he's taken high. Well, no, it's not. He fended off and got Jack high. So Jack shot like bowls. Puts it across towards Jeddah. And now Reece Shaw, good to see him back too. Comes out to Rowan. Rowan runs down towards half forward. It's 2-on-1 here. The two prevail, at least initially. The one fights back though. Memory did nicely. Gave it across to McVeigh. Misses everybody. Loose ball about 15 metres out from goal. Coming through Zaharakis. Does well in defence. Slams it on the boot. Rowan does well. Gets it out of bounds.
Gee, I've got to... Last time I'll bag on about Membry, but he is so clean.
Great. It's exactly what the Swans need. They need some representation between 40 and 60 out from goal, and Membry able to do it.
So some stability now in the match, though. Sydney with those couple of goals and pressing. Now Parker got a high one.
Contact, Sydney. Let him up, please.
What a good player he is, Luke Parker.
Hold there.
21 years of age. A lot of footy already. Goal-kicking midfielder. Tim talked about him pre-match. That's what he brings to the Swans. Back to Richards. Bombers have been so good defensively, and Dennis talked about that too pre-match, about how hard they've been to score against in recent weeks. Malcheski short. Kennedy just summing it up now. He's just going to kick and hope that Goods or tip it. Oh, yeah, Pike will do. Didn't think of Pike straight away. I should have.
Well, both sides are really aggressively getting their defenders back. There's no space in the forward 50, so going in long and getting the big fella to stand up on the front of the goal square, really good play.
28 goals last year, just the one so far this year. He's had a few injuries, and now Sydney have got a break, haven't they?
We can see here he just stands there, uses a little bit of body on Bell Chambers, but then in the end uncontested, and that's back to his absolute best, back to 2012.
And not strong enough from Bell Chambers. He actually set himself up as the loose man and had no awareness of Pike drifting forward also.
Chapman out of the middle quickly. Heppel back on the ground, goes inside the forward 50. Ryder on the stretch, takes the mark. That was sweet. Quick out of the middle.
Thank you, mate.
The goal they must kick. So important to them, Heppel.
Right on the mark. Thank you, Ted.
Richards lost contact there. I think he was going back when Ryder was coming forward, and it was too late. Matty Ryder then.
Thank you, mate.
Kick is good. They get their first goal, trailed by 13.
Just highlights how short the ground is, and Heppel so important, having an outstanding season, getting it deep inside the forward 50 from a clearance.
And when Ryder's at full stretch, he's impossible really to get the ball away from him. He's right at the top of his height there. He took that mark. Kennedy with a clearance. Cunningham just went to ground. Bagley. So the Bombers have stabilised a bit here. Winderlick, done, not quite. Got the handball. Collier had a fumble and a boundary throw in. 3 goals to 1. Sydney making the running. Franklin not playing, just some tendinitis in the knee. We ran into Dan Hanbury in the lift coming up with Wayne, and he's suggesting he'll play next week. He was so close this week. So I mean, Vay's kick forward, and in the right spot, Cunningham takes the mark. Now, he hasn't kicked a goal at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Harry. He's God, he's had a good year. He's 20 years of age.
I'm not sure he scored on this ground, Bruce.
Nothing, has
Nothing, no.
So he's kicked 11 goals this year, including 4 in one match against the Suns. But
15 gone.
Let's see if he can dob something at his home ground. It's been a breakout year for him. He's played every game. Well, he's on the board, Tim, but not what he really wanted.
The worrying sign for the Bombers there is that's 2 marks inside 50 with traffic around them. So although they've had the numbers back, the Bombers, they haven't been able to put the spoil on.
Early to himself, plays on. Sends a high ball, a slow ball in the direction of Ryder. Chapman camped in front. Heppel under pressure. Bad bounce for Towers. Comes back to McVeigh. Got it from Bird. Runs inside the 50. Lowers the eyes. Tippett on a collision course with a teammate down there in the pocket. Worked out okay for the Bombers. Goddard gave a hand pass back. Towers comes again. And the ball spills out of bounds.
McVeigh's up to 8 disposals at this stage. He's got Dyson Heppel with him at this stage. Just needs to tighten up.
Tight pockets too down there.
So Swans threatening. Tippett doing that ruck work. Don't see him a lot in the centre anymore because of the knee injury. Zaharakis, they'll be trying to get him fit for September, make sure he's here. Rampy did well. Quick hands needed, getting it out. McGlynn, Smith, Grundy, McGlynn. They've had to go back a bit. Smith then, I should say. Malcheski, piercing. Well done, Hurley. That was a good spoil in the back half that they hadn't been doing earlier. Ball in dispute. Not out. Ball up.
It was good work there from Hurley. Sam Reid really needs to extend out the arms and take it in the hands. He's just given Hurley a slight window of opportunity to affect the spoil, and he did it well.
Ryder with the run. With the left hand, got it down. Hurley off balance, got a kick out towards the wing. Grundy comes to beat it, close to the boundary line, goes along that boundary line. Bird, back to the run of Grundy, run down by Collier. Got Bird to ball, sprayed it back towards the middle. Almost marked down there by Parker. Over the football, battling hard is Bagley. Parker tries to knock it goalward, still going Parker. He's working double time in there. Wenderlich grabs him and goes with him. And we'll have a ball up.
Just the Little League game at the moment. This is just a massive players just following the footy up and down wherever the ball is. There's just a massive bodies in the vicinity.
Going to be a tiring night, isn't it? They'll be exhausted for some of these players. I mean, the effort put in. Gee, Parker, as Dennis said, he was manic a moment ago. To be honest, it was a bit like Jude used to play. He's down at the boundary line tonight, but he came from nowhere to affect a spoil and then did all the hard stuff, and there he is again. Flipping it back out. McGlynn getting down low. In the back, maybe, I think.
Back, go through. Sydney. McGlynn. Push right out, Ben.
So Ben McGlynn, what a season he's having.
No, Mike.
Reinvented as a...
You've got to get out of there. You're blocking him. Go. You've got to go. You're blocking him. You can't block the mark. Take your kick again, please. Let him run. It's your kick again.
I guess Mike can't say I'm Canadian anymore. He's been around too long, hasn't he?
Got his citizenship at the start of last year, I think.
Anyway, McGlynn had found someone lace out, so we've got to start again. Can he do it again? Good. Yep. Oh. No mark. Thought he had it.
Good play.
Troy, yeah, no mark. No mark? No mark, mate. Ball up. Okay. Ball up. Okay.
You stay in the middle. You stay in the middle.
Second umpire overrode the first umpire.
That was Mr. Chamberlain.
Is that a case of just being more boisterous as a second umpire?
I was going to say, took control. He was the officiating umpire.
Gee, it's an interesting point, isn't it? It's like, sorry, I'm a better judge than you. You got that wrong.
Well, it can be done.
Well, I think the guy was coming at him, though, wasn't he? Ray's in front of that.
It can. I mean, it can. The rules say that you don't have to be the, I guess, the zoned umpire, but
I think the end decision was probably correct.
Yeah, it was.
It fell out of his hands the last minute.
Pike knocks it down. Bird finds a way through, nicely done under pressure. Squirts a kick towards the pocket. Wenderlich does better this time and knocks it out of bounds. Shaky start by Jason Wenderlich, but generally he's been in very good form lately.
Wouldn't it be too common if the two umpires had an argument out there?
Well, it's almost seemed to who was more boisterous, yeah.
You knew who was going to win that one.
He did call him mate, though. He knew he was on dangerous ground. Down goes Tippett. Ball squirts up in the air. Kennedy dragged down. Myers goes in strongly. Kennedy stood up in a tackle. The opposite number 12 had it momentarily. Bagley. Hooker's hand pass gained about 15 metres. Howlett close to the boundary line. It's out. Gee, it's hard slogging football.
As Lee said, so many numbers around the footy at the moment.
As the boys have been saying, so many numbers and so many players shuffling back to forward. You'd expect there will be fast break goals tonight at some point. It will open up.
Pike, well done by Chapman. So he's had some clearances, Chappie. Getting the ball out of the danger zone. Richards worked off it by Ambrose. Such a physical player, Ambrose. Carlisle. Little pokey kick, Zaharakis. Dempsey had to get down low. And then Smith trying to get it out into the Swans player running past. That didn't happen, and then a ball up.
What hasn't happened at the moment is neither side's been able to really run the ball out into the congestion. It's been so much pressure. They've just been quick kicks forward.
Ryder won it down. Myers, close quarters to Merritt. Heppel did brilliantly. Goddard, Howlett. Knocked away by Reid, intended there for Hurley. Reid comes again, knocks it again away from Hurley. Now it comes to Bird. Bird down towards half forward. It runs inside 50 and goes across the boundary line. So you just get the feeling after that loss last week, as good as the game was, Sydney really back to basics tonight. This is trench warfare. They love it that way. And at the SCG, they're very good at it.
Just saw the key Jordan with Heppel and McVeigh together. Both have had an impact in the opening term. There is Heppel with a squeezy kick. Shaw, that was a defensive hit back, a spoil that went the wrong way. Rampy, Merritt with him. Young Merritt, Rampy had a while. I think he's gone.
Essendon. They can take a kick.
Well, he's one of the recruits of the year, this young man, isn't he, Merritt? I'm not sure who's going to get the rising star this year. It is so open.
He's only playing football for the past couple of years. Bruce, a cricketer. In fact, when Jackson Merritt was drafted, in asking the questions about family, he said, yeah, I've got a younger brother who plays cricket. That was only a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Well, that's a poor kick.
Oh, right onto the chest of Goods. Dempsey hangs his head momentarily. Needs to get back quickly. Parker to space and Cunningham. So Dempsey paid the price. Turns up a little bit late on Cunningham. Got to be resilient. Cunningham goes long to the pocket and Kennedy slips away and takes the mark about 35 metres out from goal.
It's another interesting midfield matchup. It looks like Goddard and Kennedy are matched up. This is a bad turnover that created the separation, but Kennedy was able to just slip Goddard on the way back in. 125
games in a row now. Coming off 25 possessions last week, Josh Kennedy, after a career-high 41 against Carlton a fortnight earlier. Sharp angle. Oh, what a wonderful finish. Terrific kick.
Terrific finish.
Yeah, he's a good player. It's a great matchup, him and Goddard, that one, to see. I think they'll both play. Goddard will try to get off him, but it's two big midfielders matched up.
Ironically, Lee, like the last two Brownlow medalists, he went number 40, father and son, Kennedy. We might make it a trifecta this year. Collier forward. They need a late goal, the Bombers. They've slipped again, behind again. Richards had a little fumble. Then he had it a long time. A bit lucky, Teddy, I think, there. Rampy, Parker gets it out of that danger zone. Dempsey getting back. Fletcher. So Fletcher with a high ball. Where are the jumpers? Bill Chambers at the back. Well done, Pike. Got himself right into the good spot and belted it away. So Ablett and Watson, those Brownlow medalists, and maybe Kennedy will join them this year.
Thank you.
Inside the last minute of the opening term, Friday night football. Pike and Ryder. Ryder's been jumping well. Tries to hook it down behind that time. Goods expecting that. McGlynn on the bounce. Heppel was waiting for him. Myers. Down he goes.
Mine.
Seen this a bit tonight.
Excellent defensive performance by Sydney to this point. 12 inside 50 to Essendon, only for 1 goal won. So the whole defensive mechanism for the Swans working really well.
There's that jump again from Ryder, going back Rowan uncontested.
Likes to go Rowan and gets back to Shaw. So maybe the danger has been averted. Good kick, Bird, and now some danger maybe for the Bombers if Jack can get it rolling. McVeigh's had a big first term. Tippett hasn't really had a look yet, but that's a good kick forward. And Reid, he's an enigma, isn't he, Reid?
Oh, he's a luxury. I reckon a lot of teams would die for a key forward like Sam Reid, but in the Swans lineup, he's the second ruckman.
Ambrose's direct opponent who's had to defend, and I mean, if he's got the opportunity to play on a non-defender, he'll do that all night.
So this really to make it a huge opening term for the Swans, and it's good. So a 5-goal first quarter. They led 7-1 when they played them earlier in the year at quarter time, and tonight it's something similar. It's the Swans 5-3 to Essendon 1-1 on a big Friday night at the SCG.